here is scared to stand on stage? I think. If you don't raise your hand, I'm gonna call on you. That's amazing. Because believe it or not, I've been doing this for 2 years now. I've been a Toastmasters for 2 years now, and I still get nervous when I stand on stage. But I don't show it. How does that work? Well, impromptu speaking, better known as table topics. So I won the Japanese table topics at the national level this past year, and I've competed quite a few times. So how do you conquer your fear? It's different from prepared speech. Who knows what's the difference between prepared speech and table topics? Anybody? IPP, what's the difference between prepared speech and table topics?
You've got to prepare it in advance if it's prepared speech.
That's right. Prepared speech, you get time to prepare. Like our C5 speaker, he had time to prepare for his speech. But you don't have time to prepare for table topics. You don't even know what the question is until you're here. So let's do next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. So you speak without any preparation at all. And you don't always have the chance to prepare, because normally at a club level meeting, what happens? You get called, volunteers, usually there are none, right? You know the power of the table topics master is we can call on you. You get here, but you know the question before you come here. Yes or no? No. Okay, well NTU is doing it contest style. Very good. Contest style, you don't know the question until you're actually on the stage. But normally at a lot of clubs, they will ask the question and then ask for volunteers. You raise your hand, you come up, or you're forced to come up, either way, but you know the question, so you have time to think as you walk onto the stage. Normally that is not the case at contests, but that's good. That means they're all really good at table topics. Yeah. Very good. So you may be called on to share an idea or an opinion. Who thinks it's scary to not be able to prepare? That's right. It's very nerve-wracking, right? At the national level, you're actually outside of the room, unless you're the first contestant. So it's really nerve-wracking because you don't know what the question is. Okay, next page, please. So why do people not do well? I listed a few things. You're overly nervous. Yes or no? Yeah. You're overly nervous. You don't listen to the entire question. Now, I see native speakers in this room, including myself. Do we get nervous, guys? Native speakers? Yeah. A lot of people assume because we speak English, it's our mother tongue, it's our native language, that we have this state very naturally. That's not the case. I was usually the one that hid in the back of the room and refused to be called on. I was like, don't call on me, please. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm not going to come up. So actually, it doesn't matter if you are a native speaker or not. We are just as nervous as you are, believe it or not. So you don't listen to the entire question, which means you need to ask for a repeat, or you don't know what to answer because you didn't hear the entire question. So it's okay, hear the entire question first. Most of the time, what happens is you're sitting there, don't call me, and the question comes, right? Do you hear it? No, because the whole time you're like, don't call me, don't call me, don't call me. And then by the time we call on you, it's like, what was the question? Right? And then you have to ask the table topics master to say the question again. So it's okay, just sit there and listen to the question. You will be able to answer. They phase out. What's phase out? Well, either you're really sleepy and you are sleepy and you don't listen, you're daydreaming, thinking about what you're gonna do on the weekend, like it's Friday, right guys? What am I gonna do tomorrow or Sunday or next week? Right? And I don't listen to, I don't have a structure. Believe it or not, table topics, when you answer, it is like a mini speech. You need to have an opening, you need to have a middle, and you need to have a conclusion. That is very important. How many minutes do you have for table topics, guys?
1 to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes, he did his homework. Well, your VP should know. 1 to 2 minutes is all the time you have. So you have to divide your time. When do you have to get off stage, guys? Anybody? 2 minutes or 2 minutes 30? 2 minutes 30. You have 30 seconds leeway. Of course, it is recommended that you get off before then so you don't go overtime. But don't get off too early, right? Like during variety session, I saw the green flag go up and the guy was like, oh good, I can go off now. Technically speaking, we recommend yellow would be a better option or into red. Okay? But you want to be very careful at red because believe it or not, it's very easy to go overtime. You're like, okay, the red just went up, I have a lot of time. So talking, and then, oops, I went over the 30 seconds. It's really easy to do that. Okay, so like I said, you need to have a beginning, middle, and end. How to do well? You're like, well, Matt, you've been doing this for 2 years, it's easier said than done. Stay calm. Is that easy to do? I see heads shaking like crazy in the back. No, it's not easy to do. You need to clear your mind. So don't go there and sit there and really say, you know, I don't want to do it, don't call on me, don't call on me. I was at a club meeting and it was table topics, I was in charge. People started changing seats. Yeah, I was like, table topics session. I came up and I saw people starting to move back. That was amazing. I was like, okay, so you think if you move to the back, I can't see you. The room is only this big. I can see everybody, guys, all right? Even the people on the side. Trust me, they'll be called on very shortly. You need to listen carefully. So at the contest level, you're not allowed to ask the table topics master to repeat the question. That's not allowed. That's a bad habit to have. You shouldn't do that in the clubs. Just so when you have your in-house or club contest, you can't do that. That's actually against the rules. You cannot ask the table topics master to repeat the question. He will only say the question twice. So you need to listen carefully. Now what usually happens is this. Next. So you need to walk with a confidence pace to the center. I have seen people walk to the stage and they're like this. And guys, the judges are sitting near you. You don't know who they are. Well, I mean, if Trini was sitting there, she's probably a judge or something, but you don't know for sure. That's the thing, okay? So you don't know who's your judge, and if they see you nervous, there are gonna be biases. It's kind of hard not to have a bias. It's like, okay, this guy's really nervous, right? You want to be confident. You want to show your confidence. So you want to walk with a confidence pace to the center of the stage. So don't go like, okay, I'm gonna like, you know, head to the execution table or something, guys. You listen carefully to the question. The entire question, guys. Like I said, the entire question. Sometimes people forget that the table topics master will say it twice, and after the first time, they start answering the question. Now, if the table topics master is nice, which was the case during my contest, he told the guy to stop and listen again. If they're not, you technically go, because you started to use your time already. Get right into it. You answer the question head on. Don't use flowery language, guys. Okay, like for example, what did you do yesterday night? Oh, it was a dark and stormy. You don't have time for that. You got what? 1 to 2 minutes. You don't have time to start with, oh, it was full of stars, and you know, you just get right into it. I went to the movie theater with my girlfriend. Simple as that. And then you go on with that, oh, and then I was late and she got angry, and you do that. You get right into it. What did you do? I did this. You don't have time to talk about how thick the clouds were, if you could see the moon, and if it was windy, and the temperature. You could talk about that after you answer the question first, because you don't have the time to go in circles. Believe me, 1 minute goes very quick. We'll demonstrate that in a bit. You need to pay attention to the timer's flag. Now usually, the timer will sit in the front. If not, they will have a huge flag. For the Japanese contest, they had a huge poster board. It was amazing. You need to make sure of that. Remember to give a conclusion. Most people, they forget to do that. They forget to give a conclusion for the table topics. That's very important. Like I said, it's a mini speech, so you want to do that. So what did I do yesterday night? My conclusion would probably be, so next time I will be very careful and pay attention and wear a watch and make sure that I'm not late so my girlfriend's not angry. Done. That is a conclusion. But most of the time, why do people not give a conclusion? Why?
They run out of time.
They ran out of time. Oh God, the red flag. Okay, thank you. Runs right off the stage. and then the judges are sitting there, or the audience. So what was the point of that? Right? Because you don't have a conclusion. Like a speech, you need to have a conclusion, no matter how short it is. It should be very succinct and to the point. Make it your own. Answer the question one way or another. So yesterday, actually, my club had a meeting, and a few days before, I went to a different meeting. Now, this is very interesting. Can I just ask a question? Who here does not like to eat mooncakes? Anybody? Okay, so everybody here likes, okay, somebody, right? Who does not like to eat mooncakes? Very good. I saw somebody else, right? So what if the table topics question is, what kind of mooncakes do you like? That is the question. How would you answer that? What would you say? Anybody? If it was you who doesn't like a mooncake and you just happened to get that question, it wasn't about barbecue, I'm sorry. What would you say?
We'll choose the steam one.
I choose a steam one, okay?
It's more healthy.
It's more healthy. Very good. You turn the question around. You don't say, and I have heard this at contest level, it is amazing, I can't answer this question because I don't like mooncakes. You can't do that. Well, let me take that back. You can do that. It's not the best idea in the world. It's probably better to say, I don't like mooncakes, but I like to go barbecuing with my friends on Moon Festival. You answer the question, right? And you weren't super negative about it. There are so many times when you will get a question thrown at you, and it's not a question you can really answer because maybe you don't have the life experience, or maybe you just don't know. When I won 3rd place in Taipei maybe a year and a half ago at a conference, the question that was asked to me, remember I'm not from Taiwan, I look like you but I'm not from here, the question was, if you could recommend to a Japanese person what month would be the best month to visit Taiwan and why? I'm not from Taiwan. That was a really hard question. Did I answer it? Yes. How did I answer it? I answered it by saying, I would recommend Chinese New Year because you could get red envelopes. And I won 3rd place. You have to answer the question, but you don't want to make the judges feel, I can't answer this question because I don't know anything about it. That's not a good way to answer. You answered it, yes you did. You just didn't answer it in a very good way. Not recommended, okay? So that's the end of my presentation. Now it's table topics time, guys. Were you listening? I hope so. All right, well, I'll start with your officers. Don't worry about that. Do we have any volunteers?